Why I love these scenes from Macross Plus. Macross Plus is a movie that deserves a lot more love than it gets. Personally, it was one of my favorite anime movies from the 80s and 90s, right up there with Akira and Ghost in the Shell. There are a lot of subtleties that make this movie what it is, things that might not be apparent the first time you see it. This, alongside the great visuals and music, helped to make this movie a memorable experience. Here are a few scenes that really encapsulate some of those subtleties that make me love the movie so much. The introduction of Isamu and the YF-19. This scene really sets up the movie. While it's not the first scene, it's the one where Isamu, one of the protagonists, is introduced. This differs quite a lot from the series, where Isamu is first shown battling renegade Zentradi forces. In the movie, he is instead shown thinking through what kind of aerobatic routine he will perform. Keep in mind that he is a test pilot, and this is the first time he flies the experimental YF-19. The fact that he ditches the test protocol to instead fly his own way tells you a lot about his character. The first thing he does is to fly right up to the edge of space and then proceed to do all sorts of aerobatic maneuvers before using smoke to create a giant dinosaur bird in the sky. Later on, he claims that he did this as a gift to Lucy, who works in the control room for the test project. Since the project has already made several pilots quit, Isamu is not fired. Instead, he is called into the colonel's office and scolded for being reckless and stupid. What makes this scene work is how it deviates from expectation. A military pilot, and especially a test pilot, is supposed to follow protocol, but Isamu instead breaks all of that and tests the plane as he would if it was his own. The only reason why he isn't fired is because it's hard to find a pilot who is skilled enough to test the YF-19 to its full capabilities, and Isamu is just reckless and skilled enough to pull it off. In this sense, he is a bit like Maverick in Top Gun. He might seem reckless at first, but there are more layers to him than what you first think when you see him. Even though we get to know more of Isamu later on in the movie, this scene really sets him up as the opposite of Gold, the test pilot for the rival YF-21, who appears to be calm and collected. Everything isn't what it seems with Gold either, as we discover later on. The unification of the three friends. When Myung is back on her home planet of Eden, where the story mostly takes place, she goes to visit a special location. Gold knows that she is on Eden because he catches a glimpse of her press conference on TV, where she appears as the producer of Sharon Apple, a virtual idol. So he suspects that she will show up and leaves to meet her there. Isamu, on the other hand, is on a date with Lucy and then shows up, thinking that the place might be empty of people. Instead, he finds Gold and Myung there, and Gold ends up starting a fight with Isamu. What makes this scene so great is that it really highlights the relationship between the three. It's here that you really start to sense that there are things lurking under the surface that the viewer isn't first aware of. This becomes even more apparent on later viewings as you clearly see Myung's facial expressions change based on what's being said. You can see that she is at the same time glad to see Gold and Isamu, but that she doesn't like being thought of as Gold's woman. The subtleties here hint at the yet-to-be-revealed event in the past. Not only that, but this was also the location of the first scene of the movie where Myung sings, as well as the place where Gold and Isamu flew their homemade airplane, which is why Gold suspected she would visit this place. The mixed emotions that Myung has because of the events that happened in the past really make this scene hit home, especially on subsequent viewings. Isamu and Lucy. Isamu and Lucy seem to have a lot of fun together, and this chemistry is part of why this scene is so great. This is an extra scene that was added for the movie to flesh out the couple, and it really shows their playful and fun nature. In this scene, Lucy asks Isamu what it feels like to fly, with Isamu running around pretending to fly a fighter jet. He later tells Lucy what he sees when he's flying, but can't explain what it really feels like. Lucy then asks if they can fly together, and things escalate from there. I really love this scene because you get to hear Isamu explain his passion for flying, what it feels like to go extremely fast and pull high Gs. Lucy and Isamu are a great couple, and although it's not explained in the movie, I always imagine them to be together after the movie ended, even though that's not probably the most common conception. Isamu and Myung in the forest. When Isamu is injured, Myung comes to watch over him. When she is alone with him, he wakes up and leaves the hospital with a protesting Myung to go to the forest. When they reach their destination, you hear the two reminiscing of the past. It turns out that Isamu tried to drag Myung and Gold here before to show them a rare, huge native bird that lives in the area. But things didn't go as planned, and if Gold hadn't brought a gun, things would have ended badly. This leads to Isamu opening up about how he feels about being labeled the irresponsible one. But it turns out that Isamu is right about a lot of things. He's the only one of the trio that's true to himself. He might be reckless, but he's not a liar. What makes this scene work is that while you can clearly see that Myung cares for Isamu, she won't really admit it. Isamu also criticizes her for giving up on her dream of becoming a singer and instead taking the safe and easy route of becoming a producer instead. Isamu knows how Myung really feels deep down and is not afraid to say it. Those are some of my favorite scenes from Macross Plus the movie. Do you agree with my picks or have any of your own? In that case, please share them in the comments below. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos related to Japanese culture. For more videos related to Macross Plus, check out this playlist.